What's up, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. After nearly an entire decade of anticipation since it was first announced, J. Cole has finally done it. He's released the album his entire career has been building toward, and yes, it's none other than The Fall Off. And with everything this album just delivered, one thing is crystal clear. Nothing about J. Cole's career is ever going to be the same again. And before we even dive deeper into how this release and its impact have already shifted the rap world and music history in ways far more consequential than most albums will see in the next 10 years, do me a favor, leave a like, subscribe, hype this up, do whatever you need to do, because we have a lot to unpack, and moments like this don't come often for hip-hop fans. After waiting 2,849 days since the very idea of The Fall Off was first introduced, we finally have an album that almost doesn't feel real sitting in front of us. And honestly, no matter where you land on the album right now, do yourself a favor and recognize the moment we're in. Not just in hip-hop, but in the context of album drops this decade, and even the past 15 years if we're being real. This is one of the biggest releases we are ever going to collectively experience. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is tapped into this. Just take a quick look at the trending page about an hour after it dropped. This album practically froze time, and in today's era, that rarely happens. But with J. Cole presenting this album as if it could be his last, or at least crafted with that intention, combined with coming off the chaos of the 2024 rap beefs, and this being his first album since a period that genuinely changed everything, Cole has never faced this level of pressure in his entire career. I'd even argue there have been very few rap albums in recent memory that carried this much weight for the culture around them. And with expectations like that, things are bound to get messy. Debates, emotions, reactions, this record was always going to spark all of that. But what J. Cole clearly understood, and probably learned through everything he's been through, especially over the last 2 years, is how to make an album that reveals itself more and more with each listen. The deeper you go back, the more obvious it becomes that this project is deeply personal, made for him and his love of hip-hop. Just look at a track like I Love Her Again, which samples Common's legendary I Used to Love HER, one of the most important rap songs ever created. Then you've got Life Sentence, where Cole doesn't just interpolate DMX's How's It Going Down hook bar for bar, but mirrors X's cadence so accurately it almost feels lifted straight from the original. On top of that, he also interpolates Outkast's iconic Elevators hook as well. From all of that to even the album cover, a photo Cole took back in high school, to the back cover showing the posters he had on his wall honoring the rappers and figures he grew up admiring, this entire project feels like a full-circle love letter to the culture.
Alright, so when you step back and look at the choices Cole made on this album, it's wild how deeply he leans into his love for rap. Every track is packed with storytelling built from classic hip-hop tropes, reimagined and expanded. And he even joins the ranks of Kendrick Lamar and Drake by rapping from a Tupac-inspired perspective, which we'll break down more later. The Fall Off feels like an album J. Cole made purely for himself, a record that tells the story he wants to look back on for the rest of his life, rather than chasing anything else. And he made sure to hit every hip-hop fanboy moment, whether that's rapping over iconic samples, paying tribute to his heroes, or any other nods in between. On top of that, he dropped this as a double album, nearly 2 hours long, his first full concept project since 2018's KOD. Keep in mind, Disc 1, titled Disc 29, represents him at age 29 in 2014, climbing the commercial ladder, while Disc 2 features him at 39, coming off the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beefs and everything that followed. Cole sets this whole project up like a Tarantino film, checking off a bucket list of things he wants to accomplish before potentially ending his career. That Disc 1 concept is pretty impressive, especially when you consider things like how he wanted Future on 2014 Forest Hills Drive but never made it happen. On this album, though, he gets Future not once, but twice, on Buns Road Blues with Tame and produced by Alchemist, and then Run a Train, which is a standout with an elegant beat, tight rhymes, and a hook delivered by Future that hits so perfectly. Honestly, it even sounds like Future from about 10 years ago, back when he was making reference tracks for the biggest pop stars and rappers, and it adds this incredible texture to the album's world. As far as the rest of Disc 29 goes, yeah, you've got fans who love one half and feel the other is weaker, but what's undeniable is how Cole sets the stakes here. He's delivering moments fans have been expecting, rather than just following the hype of what The Fall Off should be. The rapping, the presentation, it all hits hard. Take the 29 intro, which samples James Taylor's Carolina in My Mind, opening the album like the start of a movie. Cole's team even confirmed online that clearing that sample was a major effort and cost a lot, which just shows the level of commitment to making this the ultimate album he envisioned. And then tracks like 26 really pull you into the concept, hearing him manifest his rise while working on Forest Hills Drive, aiming to become one of rap's defining voices. And later in Disc 1, he absolutely goes off. The rapping is some of the most aggressive and intense we've ever heard from him, flipping a beat inspired by Mobb Deep's Drop a Gem before switching up mid-song to a funky beat that only amplifies how crazy and versatile his flow can get. I mean, honestly, there are some seriously strong moments here, where Cole is rapping at one of the highest levels on the planet, and the production and overall presentation are top-notch. Speaking of which, another standout has to be Poor Thing, which rides this soulful sample full of tension and drama, and Cole comes in delivering a performance that feels conflicted, raw, and layered. This track perfectly captures the peak of what the Fall-Off promised it would be. And here's a cool detail: if you're really listening, you'll catch some West Side ad-libs where he's yelling "Ayo," which is just another subtle touch that makes the track hit even harder. It's always dope to see him flexing on a major rap blockbuster like this. Now, moving toward the end of Disc 29 and more into Disc 39, which we'll dive into soon, some people have been a little frustrated, but keep in mind, this album is nearly 2 hours long. Naturally, there's a ton of rapping, but Cole also left space for songs that are ambitious sonically and creatively, some of the biggest swings of his career. And yeah, some fans are loving it while others are dragging it. At the center of all this is track 10, The Let Out. Sure, some are already memeing this one because Cole leans heavily on autotune and singing throughout, but here's my take. It's far from perfect, but something is captivating about it. Even when the autotune gets heavy, which trust me, it's not as bad as people say, the guitar-driven beat makes the track feel cinematic and matches the stakes of one of the most anticipated rap albums of all time. And that's exactly the point, because stakes are sky high, and there are multiple songs where Cole isn't rapping in the traditional sense. He's experimenting with melody, singing, beat switches, and expansive production, all handled by him. From that lens, it makes sense why the album is already so divisive. He's swinging big, and only time will tell how it lands. But beyond Disc 29's highlights, Disc 39 is super interesting because, as Cole revealed during the album rollout, this half of the record was inspired by a 2024 drive he took after the Kendrick beef and his hometown apology. It was written in the wake of everything that changed his world, and from a technical perspective, Cole sounds the most locked in as a writer here, especially on tracks like the 39 intro, where he's flowing rapidly, pocketing like crazy, delivering bars in a way we don't hear enough from him. And then we get into Disc 2, Track 2, The Fall-Off is Inevitable, which honestly might be the strongest record on the project, especially in the context of the album as a whole. I'd even say it gets a little stronger as it hits, setting the tone perfectly for the second half. And then when you bring legendary Erykah Badu in on track 3 of this side, that's a major flex and a seriously strong way to kick off the latter half of a double-disc album that could very well be his final statement. And again, from everything Cole has told us, at the very least, this was crafted to feel like his last possible release. Now, the point on this half that's generated the most controversy and divisive opinions, that would be the middle run of tracks. Here, Cole is diving deep into his personal life, focusing on his relationship and, in particular, his long-term partnership with his wife, while layering it over more bubbly, melodic beats and experimenting with a softer side of his voice. There's even a collaboration with Burna Boy in this stretch, which some listeners seem to push back on because it's not what they expected from Cole. Then, the final run of tracks brings in highly conceptual moments like What If, which has sparked all kinds of conversation. On this track, Cole raps from the perspectives of Tupac and Biggie, imagining them apologizing to each other, unpacking their infamous beef, and searching for common ground. A bold, fascinating creative choice no matter how you frame it.
I also think Cole is subtly holding up a mirror to the Kendrick Lamar and Drake saga here. This is likely the track where he wanted to address that dynamic directly, but wisely chose a more imaginative route. Going too literal would have stirred unnecessary issues and potentially overshadowed the rest of the album. This song definitely deserves deeper analysis because there's a ton happening here, and it may end up being one of the most pivotal moments on the record. But for now, we'll leave it there. Personally, I think one of the best tracks on the album might be Quick Stop, which hits every box: rapping, production, storytelling, atmosphere. It's pure J. Cole energy. And what I mean by that is Cole shines when he's telling slice-of-life stories that actually happened to him, guiding us through the moments and the lessons he's learned. For example, there's a moment where he's in public, running into a fan and has a genuinely human interaction, realizing how much he means to that person and how much that reflection hits him in the moment, serving as a reminder he didn't even know he needed.
I mean, this is such a raw and genuine moment, and you really feel the power of hip-hop here. You see J. Cole at his absolute best, and the production just elevates everything. It's nothing short of brilliant. Honestly, I would call this straight-up brilliance, especially with that violin weaving through the background, adding so much emotion and weight. Moments like this tie everything together so perfectly, and I keep pointing it out because for an album of this scale, these are the moments that matter most. Musically, it's like a full cinematic score building a crescendo that gives the track a sense of drama, making it feel monumental, the kind of moment an album this historic deserves. And while there's so much else happening across the record, the more you listen and really engage with it, the clearer it becomes. J. Cole has delivered an album that not only changes his career and life, but also makes a significant impact on hip-hop itself. We're going to be unpacking and discussing this project for a long time because whether you love it or hate it, the weight it carries is undeniable. The fall-off is inevitable, and after experiencing this record a few times, it's clear J. Cole hasn't just stopped fans or the big three circles in hip-hop, he's captured the entire world's attention. He's put so much into this album, from the intricate raps we haven't even fully dissected yet to the experimental production choices, which could either pay off big or divide listeners even more. This is one of the most expansive albums we've seen in an era where long records often don't know what they want to be, and that alone deserves respect, regardless of your take on the finished product. When you step back and look at the vision as a whole, what feels inevitable about the fall-off is that at this point in J. Cole's life and career, he set out to create what he considers his ultimate album, and he absolutely delivered, hitting on the things that not only make fans love him but also reflect what he loves most about his music and hip-hop itself. And I think no matter what happens from here, the direction it goes, or how the reactions unfold, J. Cole this time around made an album that's for himself first and everyone else second. He did exactly what he wanted to do, not bending to anyone else's expectations, a theme we've seen echo throughout his career, all the way back to tracks like Workout and Sideline Story. Cole has truly taken control here, possibly wrapping up this chapter of his career on a note where he fully owns his vision, something he didn't always have the freedom to do earlier on, and the fall-off becomes the ultimate reflection of that agency. Seriously, giving us a nearly 2-hour album that achieves all this and more, we just have to pause and recognize where we are in this moment and enjoy music like this while it's happening, whether you think it's a masterpiece or not. Moments like this, world-stopping moments in hip-hop, music, or art in general don't happen every day, and they certainly don't come like this. When it comes to Cole's legacy, whether you love it or not, listening to this album, seeing the direction he's taking, and watching him check things off his creative list, it's clear we aren't likely to see another career hit a peak like this for a very long time. So now, I want to hear from you. What do you think of the fall-off so far? Did it live up to your expectations, or is it a miss? What is it doing for J. Cole? Which side stands out to you most? Your favorite song, verse, or style? I want every single thought, every little observation. Don't hold back. This is such a massive moment in hip-hop, and I'm excited to dig in, keep listening, and really form a more solid opinion, because there's just so much packed into this project. And hey, if you made it this far in the video, leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out more than you know, and I really appreciate all the support. Oh, and don't forget, while Cole just dropped the fall-off, Kendrick Lamar's album is coming soon too, and it could completely shake up the game this year. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe to my channel.